Hey Jeff, just over these first couple of practices, where are you kind of fitting in? Are you a four? Are you a small ball five? And what do some of those lineups look like for you?
I'm kind of everywhere. There's not anywhere specific that I'm playing. Like the Swiss Army knife, just a guy who's able to play multiple positions. So I'm pretty much playing all over the floor.
Next question goes to Michael Grady with Yes Network.
Hey, Jeff, speaking of Swiss Army knife, what have you noticed about this roster as a whole in terms of how versatile it is?
I mean, we got guys who the definition of versatility in a team is us. Big guards who can play multiple positions. You got forwards who can play 1 through 5. Even our so-called centers are mobile enough to play multiple positions. So, that's the league. That's what is going to make us so great is that we're able to throw different lineups out there that you can't really prepare for. So, it's going to be fun.
Next question goes to Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Jeff, I got two questions here for you. One, you've obviously been around the league for a while and you've been around trade rumors. You've been involved in trade rumors. How do you keep those? Like, have you developed a system or like a routine for keeping those out of your mind? Or is that just you? Like, how do you keep trade rumors from impacting your day to day? And second, Joe obviously signed a big contract not too long ago, and he said he went up for a dunk in practice, and DeAndre told him he had all that money weighing him down. Can you just talk about what it's like being in training camp with a guy like DeAndre and what it's like? I think you played with him before. What it's like just being around him?
To your first question, it's obviously nowadays, with social media, all forms of, the platforms of, everybody having a discussion about something. It's kind of hard to really, get away from the trade rumors. At the end of the day, you got to go out there, prepare for the situation you're in. Go out there and just play hard, and whatever happens, happens. Obviously, when you're doing media, it's going to be brought up, so you can't really get away. So the best advice I can always give is just prepare for the day, and don't worry about the next. As long as you're in the situation, be present, and worry about the rest later. And to play with DJ again is it's amazing, man. The basketball IQ is amazing. He keeps the room live. His personality, is very, very, very bright. So he's going to keep guys on their toes. He's going to bring the laughing and joking. But when it's on the court, his voice. He's a guy who studies basketball. He studies opposing teams. Plays, and he's always going to be prepared. So it's great to play with him again and be alongside him.
Next question goes to Greg Logan with Newsday.
Jeff, you've been around a long time. Can you just give your impressions of the leadership that Kevin Durant brings to this team, and then also, what do you see from him on the court in terms of how well he's playing after the injury, and does that inspire your teammates?
To answer your last question, it definitely inspires to see him back in the form before he got hurt. Is definitely inspiring. After practice, me, him, and Torian are getting workouts in, and for being me knowing him personally the way I do, and I'm happy to see him back doing what he loves. In good health, moving on the floor. So it's definitely inspiring to see. His leadership is amazing. He's a guy who goes out there, leads by example. I believe in the interview he says he doesn't do drills half-assed. He goes out there and he's giving it all he has. And when you have a guy of his talent, his stature in the NBA, going out there and playing as hard as he is definitely inspiring. So I'm glad to see him back on the floor, and I'm glad I don't have to guard him on a nightly basis, during games. It's mostly in practice, which, it doesn't get filmed. So I'm happy to see my brother back out there.
Next question goes to Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Jeff, speaking of being a Swiss Army knife, we just heard Kevin talk about how he has been told he should expect to get some minutes at the 5. Are you guys practicing in these sort of alternate roles where he's expecting to mostly play the 4 but see some other minutes? Is it the same for you? And how is that playing out in practice?
We haven't done situational moments in practice to which our lineups are staggered that way. But through our offense is pretty much, knowing every position. So you never are going to be in the same spot all the time. So I would say that's where the Swiss Army knife position that Kevin has been playing is going to be used mostly, I would say. I mean, I can't give you 100% answer on that because I'm not the coach. But as for me noticing in practice, with our versatility being who we are, guys are going to be in multiple positions, whether that's being in a quote unquote 5 position or a point guard position. So it's going to be used for a lot of our guys. I'm pretty sure it's going to be used highly with Kevin, with the way he plays.
Next question goes to Bob Windrum with Nets Daily.
Keeping in the theme of thing, you've been around a long time, Jeff. Have there been any of the younger players that have surprised you? We keep hearing talk about the rotation players, but there's also a number of younger guys on the floor. Have any of them surprised you?
Well, it just depends on which younger guys you're talking about, because we have a number of young guys, compared to me. So, I love Reggie, the draft pick. He's, a young kid who works very, very hard, who knows the game of basketball, who can, honestly, I think, it's hard, with the rotations what we have here, but down the line in his career, I think he'll be able to play multiple positions as well. He's very talented. I didn't watch outside of watching my Georgetown Hoyas, I didn't watch much college basketball. So I never watched him in college, but, watching, him out there on the floor, he looks pretty good.
Next question goes to Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, Jeff, I'm not sure if I've asked you this question in the past, but I'm just going to shoot it again and see if I didn't. Obviously, you've bounced around the league, played for a couple different teams. I'm curious as to how, the process of relocating is different given the state of this country and the pandemic. And given the pandemic, have you at all had a chance to explore Brooklyn or any areas in New York, or have you kind of just been keeping to yourself?
I've just been mainly keeping to myself. Just trying to stay clear of, COVID, and want to stay healthy to be out there on the floor with my team. Obviously, moving has been difficult, seeing as, the pandemic is really, putting things at a halt for a little bit as far as, moving, furniture or, your storage and everything. So, it is what it is. Just taking it day by day, waiting for my family to get here, and whenever they do, I'll be whole. But it has been tough, but I just try to make the best of the situation that's at hand.
Last question for Jeff. Back to Greg Logan with Newsday.
Jeff, I'm sure that Kevin trusts you because he knows you so well, and that will translate to the rest of the team. Do you get a sense how big your role might be with this team? Even though you're a 12-year veteran, do you have a sense like you could play a really big role with this team?
Yeah, of course. And that's in terms of me, using my voice, being that third eye, that's, being able to see the court, helping my teammates, any kind of way Coach Nash needs me to help on the floor or off the floor, I'm there. And that's what I pride myself in is being prepared, you know, being that loud voice, whether it be defensively or, you know, whether it's, you know, helping my teammates out in any point of the game that I see something. That's what it's all about. That's what's going to take us to the next level if we're on the same page and making sure we're there for each other. So as far as the basketball role, like I said, I'm well prepared for anything. You know, whether I need to bring the ball up or post or being on the wing or being a defender, I'm definitely available. And Coach Nash knows that, and you know, I think he sees that. So you know, hopefully, you know, when the season starts, it can be put to use, and you know, we can make this long journey at a championship.